Hey everyone, it's Nubia. So it's been a while since I made a video. I know for a while I was doing a lot of hair and makeup, but more recently I kind of felt like doing something different, so I'm gonna start randomly reviewing books and comic books and shows and things I like to eat or drink, and I think I'm gonna take my channel to kind of a different level in that way. So I'm really excited about that. Today I wanted to talk about this comic book that I read, American Gods. So this is it. It was really good, and where do I begin? So first of all, I have to shout out my local comic book store dude. He owns Alternate Reality Comics, which is where I've been going since I moved to Vegas. I used to go to this other shop, I forget the name. It used to be located in downtown Las Vegas, but then it closed, and I get so sad when I hear about these little independent, shops closing. I feel like every time a comic book or toy store shuts down, it's like a little kid somewhere cries and just like dies inside. But I'm probably being a little dramatic. It's based on an award-winning novel by Neil Gaiman, and a lot of people have read this novel and they rave about it and they're super excited about it, and I'm kind of really happy that I haven't read it, because it's just like, to me personally, I feel like it's this amazing new thing I get to experience completely new. I haven't had anyone spoil anything for me yet, and I've been kind of trying to stay away from things. I really want this to be a new experience for me. So the comic is written by Neil Gaiman, which wrote the novel, and P. Craig Russell, and it is illustrated by Scott Hampton. So it's a Dark Horse comic. So by just looking at the cover, I already kind of figured, by the title and the art, American Gods, that it was going to be something having to do with like mythical creatures or something like that. And then I open up and here's page 1. You get introduced to Shadow Moon, which is the main character, and he's in prison. Now, let's just take this to a personal level. Like many things in life, Shadow is like regretting something terrible he did, and he's counting his blessings. He's like so happy, all he wants to do is go home, take a hot bath, and hang out with his wife, Laura. And he has everything set up for him. He has a job waiting for him, which, sometimes for a convict that could be kind of hard, right? But he has a job set up. He's looking forward to being with his wife. He literally wants nothing but to chill and do good. And he's been good in prison, being low-key, everything. And then a few days before he gets released, these weird things start happening, right? Like people start telling him like there's a storm coming and things feel different, and there's kind of like a lot of foreshadowing about warnings, different types of warnings that inmates tell him. And you kind of feel like, all right, something messed up is gonna happen. Like I said, I haven't read the novel, I'm not familiar with the story at all. So I had no idea what's gonna happen. I thought, I didn't really know what to think, to be honest. I thought maybe, some mythical creature is gonna hijack his plane home or something. But so what ends up happening is his wife dies, and that's really tragic. And it's just like, it brings me back to life, just like when you think everything is about to be right and everything's kind of flowing and smooth and perfect. Sometimes it's just like boom, we're here to mess everything up for you. So poor Shadow, he has to go through this situation. So anyways, he's kind of like in shock. He gets released early for the funeral, and he's on his way home. So he's on the plane, and then he meets this guy, Mr. Wednesday. He gets moved up to first class, and he meets Mr. Wednesday, who's kind of sitting across from him, not straight across, but and he's talking to him, and this guy is just like a creeper. You can tell even by the way the comic is written. He just seems like a sleazy dude, but whatever. I don't really know much about the character yet. All I know is that he's super mysterious, and he obviously already knew who Shadow was. and he offers him a job. He kind of tells him that he shouldn't turn it down. It's gonna be more money than he can make anywhere else. Shadow is just kind of like, you know, fuck you at first. Like, I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. How do you even know my name? Like, and he's probably all mentally messed up, right? His wife just died. So he gets offered the job and that happens. And then everything is just kind of weird. I should also mention that before he got on the plane, he had like a vision of the creature that's on the cover, this mythical god, I'm gonna say, and you know, it's just kind of warning him about things that are heading his way, and none of it sounds good. A quick summary of the comic is by the end, you know, he runs into all these issues. His wife dies, he has warnings from everyone, his airplane ticket is messed up, he ends up in another airport, he has to rent a car. He still ends up bumping into the same guy, which offers him the job. And it seems like he's gonna take it, but I don't know yet, but I'm gonna obviously assume he does. And that's pretty much what I'm gonna say about the comic for now. I really enjoyed how it was written. I haven't read the novel, so I can't compare it to that. But I did see the trailer today for the Starz show, American Gods. And one thing that I thought was really interesting, I really like how Scott Hampton illustrated the comic. But you know, sometimes when you read something, I don't know if you guys are like me, but you kind of like envision the characters in your head as well. Like, I can read a novel or a comic book, and even though, you know, the people are illustrated in the book, I still kind of, you know, make them up in my head also, if that makes sense. So it's interesting for me to see in the comic book, Scott Hampton kind of illustrated him where he looks like, he doesn't look as mean as he does in the Starz trailer. So I feel like it's interesting for me, since I'm just reading the story now, to kind of see like those two different takes where like in the comic book, I felt like he just looks like a dude who's minding his own business, but he seems more emotional and more deep. My first impression on the Starz trailer for the show was kind of like, he's almost like a bodyguard looking dude and he looks mean. So part of me wants to read the novel now because I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna end up watching the show, let me read the novel. But I believe I read somewhere that the comic is gonna have 27 issues, I think. I could be wrong about that, but I think they're trying to cover everything in 27 issues. So I don't know if I just continue reading the comic book or if I should read the novel, or I might end up doing both. But it's really interesting to see all these takes, because now if I read the novel, that's one kind of perspective. If I continue reading the comic, that's another perspective, not only written but visual. And then the show is going to be scripted differently and everyone looks different. So it's like so much going on. I don't know, I thought it was really kind of cool and excited. I really enjoyed the story. And of course, Neil Gaiman, you know, his reputation precedes him. He's very talented. His mind is just like crazy. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. So far, only issue 1 has been dropped. It was dropped earlier this month, and issue 2 will be released April 12th, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. And I also want to know if any of you guys are reading it, or what comics have you been reading lately? So let me know what you think. Let me know if you read the novel. Let me know if you're excited about the trailer thing, and thanks for watching. Bye.